Hey there, folks. Welcome to Take 5. I'm James Hilliard. He is Lane Shelton. We're talking about the Microsoft license optimization process. Lane, got to define that for our listeners.
Our Microsoft license optimization process is what we created to help our customers make strategic Microsoft licensing decisions, whether that's looking at a new agreement, renewing an existing agreement, evaluating the ongoing effectiveness of something already in place. This is our process to help customers make smart licensing decisions and save money.
We're going through the 4-step process in the next 4 minutes. Step 1.
It's really easy to get started with our MLO process. A simple one-line email from the customer gives us authorization to run a Microsoft license statement, which is a comprehensive picture of all the entitlements in a particular customer's estate. We normalize that data and we turn it into actionable business intelligence, what we call our baseline report. And that report gives both you and us crystal clarity into all of the licenses that are out there so we know where we're starting and what we have to work with.
That's taking the inventory. Step 2.
Step 2 is looking at where you are today and where you're going tomorrow. So let's take Microsoft Office for an example. That's a product that just about everybody uses. We need to know, how is Office deployed in your organization? Do you have it locally installed on machines in a Citrix environment? Do some people use Office? Some people don't use Office? Do we have virtual desktops that end users are using for Office? How is Office used throughout the organization? How is that going to change, or what are the plans for the future so that we can really understand all of the things that you're doing that may have a material impact on the licensing investment behind that technology strategy?
Identifying the usage, the tech roadmap. Let's move on to step 3.
So step 3 is where we really take the pieces we've assembled from steps 1 and 2 and put them into an analysis. So from steps 1 and 2, we're going to understand where you are, where you're going, what you're doing, and we're going to structure licensing scenarios based on that data that are highly realistic and tuned to what you're doing. So back to that case of Office, we may say, do we need software assurance on our Office licensing? How many Office licenses do we need? Do we have too many? Do we have too few? Could they be restructured in a way that could save money? There's a lot of different ways to look at Microsoft licensing. There's a lot of choices. In this step 3 is where we lay out very clearly and very specifically what those potential choices are and what the cost and risk impact of making those choices would be.
That's the predictive analysis. Final step, the 4th step.
So step 4 is taking all of those options and looking at which ones make sense, which ones should we leave on the cutting room floor, which ones should we talk in more detail about, and weaving all those together into the best licensing agreement to satisfy all those requirements and everything that we uncovered in steps 1, 2, and 3. Step 4, that's our scorecard. At the end of that, we should be able to say, here's where we started, here's all the choices we looked at, here's the decision that we made, and here's how much money we saved.
All right, Lane, customer says, yeah, sign me up. I'm willing to go through this process. How long does that take?
It really depends on what kind of time the customer has. We've done this on just about every time scale, from the decision needs to be made in a month, so we've got to step lively and get this done very quickly, to our decision is a year away, but we really want to take the time to plan for this, and so we operate on a much more measured time scale. Whatever time the customer has available, we will use that time to deliver them the best possible outcome on whatever time scale the customer needs us to operate on.
Let's say we're a 6-month time frame. Doesn't mean the customer is working with you every single hour of every single day.
No. We try to do as much of the heavy lifting as the customer wants us to do. The process itself is very collaborative. We call ourselves a what-if engine. If the customer says, what if I did this? We can take that what if and turn that into a highly detailed scenario that shows exactly what could happen if we did that what if. We do all of that processing, and our goal is to do as much of the heavy lifting as possible, but we also have customers that want to be deeply involved in the process as well, and we welcome that. It's whatever level of involvement the customer wants to have during the process, from hands-off to hands all the way on. We're good, whatever the customer wants to do.
I wish my investment guy would be a what-if. Every time I ask him for that, he wants to charge me more money. You guys don't do that, so I can appreciate that style. Someone's interested. Customer says, hey, I want to go through this process. What's the next step from here?
Get with one of our licensing specialists, get with one of our business development managers to actually show you the process. We'll get some spreadsheets out, we'll get some case files out. We can show you exactly what these 4 steps look like, exactly what the deliverables look like. show it to you in a real-world context so you'll know exactly what you're going to get from this process.
Perfect, Lane. That's where we're going to wrap things up. Appreciate you being on board, explaining this part of MLO. Thank you, of course, to our listeners, and we do look forward to catching up with you throughout this Take 5 series.